Welcome to It Came From a Podcast. My name is Sergio AM.
And I'm Ricky Casman.
I don't even have to introduce you. So today we're trying a new segment, a new series.
First of all, we're back.
Oh yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been probably 2 years.
Something like that, 2 or 3 years. I was like 10 when we did the last one.
We're starting back. We're starting with a actual series instead of the actual live show.
Correct. So maybe we should explain the new structure a little bit, or what we're going to do.
So yeah, we're live now. We're live. We live live.
We're physical.
Yeah.
You can't just hear us anymore.
You
now
can see us now. Yeah, you can see how nervous we look.
Unfortunately for you guys.
Yeah, but we have some effects on the camera itself, so it helps out a little bit. The table's a little tall. I'm not the biggest fan of this. It's awkward.
And I'm small, so I'm like,
Yeah, it's a little same here, though. Look. We're the same butt size, though, right? That's how it works, I think.
I guess.
I don't know. Anyway, so today we're starting with a series called The Anatomy of... Period. And our first character for this series is...
Deadpool.
The one and only. Because why?
We've got a movie coming up in like a week. It's supposed to be like super awesome. People are saying that it's like super fun. It's more fun apparently to watch than like Force Awakens was and stuff. So, yeah, we figured what better way to start this little series off than with Deadpool.
Yeah, I mean, we have a nice, huge essay for you guys, and it's all information that we dug up.
Yeah, we did our research.
Yeah, some things you should know about Deadpool before going in. Because
the thing with Deadpool is that, like, everybody knows what Deadpool is, but I don't think people who aren't super into comics probably don't really know a lot about him. They will after watching the movie, but we figured we'd go a little bit into his comic book origins.
His history. Yeah, let's talk about who he is. Because I actually didn't really start off reading Deadpool. Did you?
To be honest, the thing with Deadpool, and we'll go into it a little bit later, but like he's one of those characters who, even if you're not reading Deadpool and you're reading other Marvel comics, he kind of pops up in everybody's comics. So even if you're just like a casual comic book reader, there's a chance that you've come across him in another one, in another title.
Yeah, a lot of crossovers with him.
So yeah, so let's go a little bit into his origins.
All right, so go for it.
All right, that's actually you.
That's me?
According to the thing, yeah.
We color-coded everything. Okay, so we're excited about this episode because we're talking about the one and only Merc with the mouth.
Right, yeah. Deadpool.
Yeah.
Right here, Sergio.
So, I don't know, the prompter's not working, we broke it.
We're already broken.
We're broken. Anyways, so Wade Wilson... Ryan Reynolds.
You're good.
He's Ryan Reynolds. Yeah. The man who would eventually become Deadpool first appeared in the issue 98 of the New Mutants in February of 91.
I was like 4 or 5.
I don't know. I was probably younger, 3. And was first depicted as the supervillain, having been hired to attack Cable and the New Mutants.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Started off as a bad guy.
He's racist. He's everything. No, he's not racist.
He might be.
He might be, yeah. He was created by Fabian... We had a problem with this before.
It's Nicieza.
And Rob Liefeld.
There you go.
So, the first guy actually has some controversy behind him, which is a little interesting.
The second guy, Rob Liefeld.
No, wasn't Nicieza?
No, it's Rob Liefeld. He, apparently, he's really bad at meeting deadlines or not coming out with stuff.
His anatomy is a little weird.
Yeah, but we're not gonna diss Rob Liefeld here, because he's kind of a hero.
We're just saying things we've heard about.
Yeah.
So anyways, fun fact, his name is actually not the guys I mentioned, but Deadpool.
Right.
His name is actually a reference to DC's Deathstroke.
Right.
Which is, I don't know if you watch Arrow, but...
He was a big villain in season 2?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, but Deathstroke looks a lot like Deadpool for a reason. We'll talk a little bit more about Mirror.
The story goes that when Nicieza and Liefeld, they co-created the character, and I think Liefeld was... Liefeld made some of the designs, because he was the artist on the book, and when they saw it, they joked that this guy really looks a lot like Deathstroke and actually kind of has his like qualities and acts like him too. So they named Deadpool Wade Wilson as an inside joke to Slade Wilson, who's Deathstroke, and like it's like if they were kind of related or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then Deadpool began appearing in X-Force, and he started showing up in other Marvel titles like we were talking about earlier, and after starring in like 2 different miniseries in the 90s called The Circle Chase and Deadpool, in 1997, Deadpool was finally given his own ongoing title, which was written by Joe Kelly, and the art was done by a young Edward McGuinness, who would go on to work on titles like Superman, Batman, The Hulk, and he did the art, or he did some covers for one of my favorite comic book events ever, Marvel Civil War.
Oh, I was going to say Planet Hulk. Yeah. But then I realized, you know what, it's not even a book. Yeah. But it's awesome.
But the thing with this title, it quickly went on to become like a parody of sorts of itself and the superhero genre as a whole, and a lot of it has to do with Deadpool's personality. He's always using pop culture references. He's just really quick, like with his wit. He's like Spider-Man. I always describe him as Spider-Man on crack. It's like Spider-Man, but like X-rated.
He's always breaking the fourth wall.
He's always breaking the fourth wall, which we'll go into a little bit later. But yeah,
that's one of my favorite things about him. Actually,
yeah.
So. All right. So, what is a Deadpool? Because you told me it's actually a thing.
Deadpool is a thing. So one of the interesting things about Deadpool is that he doesn't officially have a concrete origin like other superheroes do. A lot of this is due to a mental condition he has in the comics where he
looks like meat.
He can't remember. Well, he does look all scarred up.
Okay, yeah.
He can't remember a lot of his past. So over the years, we've gotten different variations of his origin story. But then he'll go on to like retcon it himself by saying something that just like totally disproves what happened before. But there is one version that has kind of stuck with the character, which I believe was part of his 1997 run where they talked about it. And according to this version, Wade Wilson contracts cancer that's terminal, and then he ends up getting an offer by the Weapon X program, which are the guys that gave Wolverine his healing factor and put the adamantium in his body. And they gave him an offer to kind of join the program, and then they would try to fix him up. So they gave him Wolverine's healing factor. Now, in doing so,
well, wait, is this spoilerish?
I mean, let's
just put out a warning.
It's 1997.
Yeah, but some people, they probably just don't know.
Spoilers, people.
Okay, go for it.
Thing is, in doing so, they actually advanced the cancer in his body, but due to the healing factor, he can't die from it.
So it's like, it's okay. He's getting better. I don't know what that noise was though.
It's like, yeah, it's gotta be hell. So like, yeah.
So he's living in a body that has perpetual stage 4 cancer.
But it doesn't kill him.
It doesn't sound fun at all. But so what, is it like a painful thing? Like he's constantly in pain?
I would assume so, because his body still has the cancer cells. It doesn't kill him.
So okay, so you got here him and the other test subjects used to run a Deadpool. So
correct.
Betting on who would survive and who wouldn't, he used this as the basis for his self-appointed name.
Right.
So, but what is a Deadpool?
So that's what it was. They were running a pool to see which subject would survive the longest, and he ended up surviving. His odds were like something crazy. He ended up surviving. So when he got out, he just called himself Deadpool.
Okay, so but this is before he was even into this like hero.
This is while
anti-hero.
So the thing with Deadpool is that before the whole Weapon X thing,
he had the name.
He was kind of out there already, and he was serving kind of as a villain and this like the guy doing bad stuff, and then at one point he contracted this disease, and that's how everything started. And that's the thing, which is what I was talking about earlier. Like his origins are super like all over the place and shady because he can't remember a lot of it, so the timeline is like all messed up. Which is a
little weird. But,
weird. But that's one of the things that makes him kind of unique as a comic book character, that you can't really trace his concretely anything.
So we're gonna talk about him, what he is like.
Right.
What's he like?
Like I was saying earlier, he's kind of like Spider-Man, but X-rated and on crack. He's super sharp tongued. He's always cracking jokes and making fun of the people that he's fighting, or even like he's always. Whenever he's with the Avengers, he's always like making fun of them and all that stuff. And so he's an asshole. To be blunt, he's an asshole, but he's funny. He breaks the fourth wall. He's super self-aware of himself. He has inner monologues with himself. He's basically nuts. He's insane.
Yeah. So can you actually compare this guy to any other comic book hero that you know?
Spider-Man.
But no. Okay, well, you just said that.
Right.
But I mean, as in like someone who breaks the fourth wall constantly, who has that kind of vulgar kind of aspect to him.
I can't think of any specific examples right now, but I know there's moments where it's happened, but not in the way he's self-aware. He knows that he's in a. I mean, according to the books, from what he says, he's aware. For moments, he's aware that he's in the middle of a comic book, and he talks to the reader. So he's really uncomparable.
That's what I like so much about him. And like I said, I really didn't grow up reading Deadpool because I just saw his imagery, and he came off as just an assassin.
That's the thing, is that I've read Deadpool. It's never been one of my main titles, but because he pops up in everybody else's titles, I've read a lot of Deadpool because
he's like a guest star kind of thing.
Yeah. And whenever Deadpool shows up in an issue that you're reading, you know it's going to be something crazy.
Yeah. So, okay, anyways. So, in reality, his biggest power or ability is his healing factor. Which he doesn't have the adamantium, though. So,
he does not have the adamantium.
Which we mentioned earlier because it allows him to regenerate at a superhuman rate.
Right.
Now, this, when you understand that he's a dick, and then you understand that he can not die,
right.
There's something so hilarious about that to me that it's like normally when he's messing with like villains or something and they get annoyed, you just chop his head off, the guy's gone, right? You have to worry about him. But this guy just keeps coming back.
So that's
the part I love
so much about him. You can literally, and it's happened, you can decapitate him, and he can as long as you rejoin it, like if you decapitate him, I believe you have to rejoin physically his head with his body.
Yeah.
But he'll and if you cut off his arm, he can regrow it. So he's kind of indestructible. So he doesn't give a crap, which is why he is the way that he is.
And what I love too is that if you know this about him, and you know that he's a dick, and you know that he's like, you know, he has the superhuman ability, you sort of would not think that he's the ultimate assassin, because he's highly trained in martial arts, and he's just a badass. He's a really good fighter, and as we saw in the trailer of Deadpool alone. Yeah, so he's a badass, he's trained, and he's a dick. So he has like this kind of completely
unique... His brain cells tell him to be at that moment, and then the moment passes. So, take that as you will.
So he has this kind of probably a better way of seeing sexuality. As in, like, he's just like, how do I feel about this person?
Right.
I like this person.
Yeah, and he doesn't care. He just doesn't...
Yeah, so it's an interesting take on it. So now we're going to go on screen. Because, yes, of course, the reason we're talking about Deadpool is because the movie's coming out. And this is a huge aspect of why we're doing this right now. Right. So, on the big screen, we first saw Deadpool in X-Men Origins Wolverine. Which was, by the way, let's forget about that, because it started off so well, and then it's just 5 minutes in, you're like, okay, this is not going right. So Wolverine played by, well, not Wolverine, Deadpool played by Ryan Reynolds.
Right.
This movie just sort of, no one liked it.
That movie
it broke characters, and it just did weird things.
It pissed me and a lot of people off.
But I think the thing is, Ryan Reynolds was so good as Deadpool, and everyone agrees that in the first 20 minutes of the film, he just blows away the character. Because that's who he is.
Because like the beginning of the movie, even though he's not wearing a mask, which again is stupid, but he was Deadpool, and it got you really excited, and they did something really stupid. They killed him.
Which is a little weird, because, I mean, he's an assassin at first that's just a badass, and then he dies to become Deadpool.
Right, because he comes back, but then he comes back with... He's wearing the mask, but he has, like, his mouth, like, stitched shut.
Yeah, he can't talk. He's almost robotic.
So you have... And in 2011, Tim Miller, who's, like, this VFX guru, was hired to direct, and there were rumors that Ryan Reynolds would get a second chance to kind of reprise the role, but then... Hollywood happens, and things start falling through the cracks, and you kind of don't hear anything about it. Then in 2014, this footage leaks.
Yeah.
From 2012, this VFX footage.
The highway scene.
I say leaks. I have a theory. I'm like, well, something just fell.
That's a Fallout thing. Don't worry.
I'm like 80% sure that the studio itself leaked this on purpose.
That they do that. I think the whole pirating thing is true too. You know how sometimes they leak, like there's a leak on a pirating site about a movie or whatever, and it seems like a little too weird that it just happened out of nowhere. This I think happened with this exact movie. This movie leaked online.
Well, not the movie. It's the test footage. No. I mean, I'm not sorry. I'm sorry. Wolverine. Oh yeah. So I saw a version of Wolverine that
with
like,
green screen.
The green screen. Yeah.
So that leaked almost intentionally by either the studio or an internal party or something.
I don't know if that one was intentional.
The reason though, I think it's just to get like the reason from fans.
The Deadpool one was definitely intentional, because the second that thing leaked, people went
crazy,
nuts, and I think that was like July. So in September, Fox officially greenlit the movie and announced that Ryan Reynolds would be
Of course,
Deadpool.
It'd be crazy not to. You know what happened too is this is a Marvel character, and Marvel has been doing amazing. I think Guardians of the Galaxy was a test to see if people are willing to open up to new niche characters.
But the thing is that yes, it's a Marvel character, but it's not a Marvel movie.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
It's Fox, and Fox has been. I don't want to say hit or miss, because they're good
with X-Men.
They've mostly been hit But they've had some Fantastic Four to
You know what? I like the first Fantastic Four because I was a kid when
they were whatever, but
I was like a kid, and I was like, that's fun.
The last one.
Now Marvel is sort of taking a more serious approach to movies with a comedy aspect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So with Deadpool, it just makes perfect sense to create. Something
it's just
like that.
it's the property lends itself to be, because you don't have to take it seriously like the other movies. Like, you can do whatever you want with it, and it's gonna be fun. And I remember reading an interview with Ryan Reynolds when the movie got officially greenlit, how he was saying, like, he's like, I didn't leak it, but if I would have known the reaction, I would have leaked it ages ago, and then we would have just made the movie.
Of course. I think the thing, too, you have to remember is that he was also the Green Lantern, which, in my opinion, was miscast completely.
I don't even want to talk about that.
You know, at least in the comics, if you read any Green Lantern, you know that it's sort of a generic character. He's a good guy. Right?
I will say this, more than anybody, Ryan Reynolds has had, like, talk about second chances. Because you had Chris Evans playing Johnny Storm, and then he got to do Captain America, but Ryan Reynolds played a Deadpool in a movie that flopped. Or not, it didn't flop, but it
didn't do amazing.
Nobody liked the movie as a whole. Mm-hmm. And then he played the Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, in that abysmal movie. And then he got a second chance to play Deadpool. And, like, from the people, like, people have seen it already because there's been secret screenings, and, like, they're saying that it's just so much fun. And one thing about this movie, because we're almost done, but before we leave, like, the viral marketing for this movie has been insane. Like, the movie's coming out on Valentine's Day. And they made I guess because to try to get like both men and women to go see the movie on Valentine's Day, they made like a Valentine's Day version poster of the movie. Just to like try to get, like, I don't know, it's like made like a chick like a chick flick, and it's just, oh man, the marketing has been amazing.
That's been really, really good.
The little teasers of him by the fireplace, just like, oh man, it's been so good. I can't wait.
So sort of to do a recap on the guy. He's an extremely unique character in the comic books.
Very unique.
He had the potential to start as such a generic character. He's a badass. He's, martial artist. He's just a great fighter. He has the superpower, which is the regeneration. And then on top of that, you have that random aspect of him being a complete dick.
He's a huge dick.
But he's hilarious. He's like one of those friends you have that is a dick, and you're constantly calling him out. And even in the comics, but you're like, this guy's funny though.
Especially when he's with the Avengers, like, you can see they get so annoyed when he's talking, but he's such a badass that it's like.
So it's such a great character that makes sense to put out there, and without a PG-13 rating.
The movie's gonna be R, which is
what everyone wanted. That was when they announced Deadpool. The first thing I worried about was them stripping it down like they do with X-Men. Why? Because PG-13 just means that you get more people to watch it.
So basically, don't take your small children to see this movie.
No,
you're gonna see
I'm not gonna take.
You're gonna see some. You're gonna see some messed up stuff.
Yeah. So I think with that aside,
we forgot he really likes chimichangas too. He's like obsessed with chimichangas. I wanted to bring that up earlier.
Do you think that's gonna happen in the movie?
Yeah.
It has to, right?
Yeah, I remember reading.
I didn't see anything in the trailer.
But I remember him reading part of the script, and there's like a chimichanga.
They're in a restaurant in one of the scenes.
Yeah, for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if we even see this chimichanga truck.
That's what I want to see. And they had, they sold a bunch of toys with.
I'm almost positive.
So I'm hoping for that too.
We should have gotten chimichangas for this episode.
We should.
But they're not healthy.
Yeah, I mean, it depends how many you eat too, I suppose. But anyways, that's going a little off board. Anything else you think we missed on Deadpool? I'm sure that some people want to say, "Oh, you didn't talk about this."
I don't want to bore everybody with facts either. It's just like a general kind of conversation about him to get people ready for the movie, which is today's Sunday. Comes out on Thursday night. I'll be in New York.
Yeah.
You'll be somewhere.
I'll be here somewhere.
So I'm gonna watch it. I have tickets already. I hope you have tickets.
No, I don't. I have to watch it on the weekend.
Oh, that sucks for you.
I know.
But no, yeah. Well, I mean, we'll talk about it next week. I can't, man. It's gonna be so much fun. I can't wait.
Yeah. So, and to recap this series, this is something completely different and new that we're trying. As you can tell, this is a little bit off the cuff here, but I think we're gonna probably make this a more constant thing. So next up, I think who do we have planned out?
So we'll have the main episode, It Came From a Podcast, which we're doing on YouTube now.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna have different specials. The Anatomy of being one. We'll take a comic book character, a story or whatever, and we're gonna break it down kind of like this and just talk about it. Yeah. So
I think one of the ones we discussed, Black Panther.
Because
a lot of people don't really know who he is.
We're definitely gonna do Rip Hunter.
Rip Hunter? Yeah, of
Legends of
course.
Tomorrow is huge on TV right now.
Yeah. And no, I mean, he's not a comic book hero, is he?
He is.
He's
DC.
Yeah.
DC.
Well, that's probably why I don't know.
Yeah, he's a time master.
So I wonder what that reminds you of. Anyways, who else?
Doctor.
Apocalypse? We want to do Apocalypse?
Because the X-Men movie's coming out soon. Yeah, I have a news.
Pretty much based on every character that we can think of that needs a little bit of analysis behind it. We'd love to talk about
Maybe
that.
we'll even go back into like old stuff and like
of course,
break down
easily,
like
yeah. And then we could probably just do miscellaneous characters, like background characters that no one knows, like in movies.
Howard the Duck.
I actually love Howard the Duck. My mom used to watch that movie all the time from the 80s.
And he's back in comics
Great
now,
movie.
so.
Yeah, and it's getting a following, so I'm curious as to how that's going.
Yeah.
So yeah. Hope you guys like it. This is our first live show.
This is our first live show.
I think we're a complete wreck.
Sorry.
I'm nervous. Let's see if we come out pixelated. That's, I think, our biggest thing. But if we're pixelated, it's a little cool.
It's part of the creative thing.
So at this point, you just got to peel off that Band-Aid. Bye, guys.
Peace.